You've seen her on red carpets, marching in protests, and rocking workout tapes in the 80s. At 87, Jane Fonda is still fierce, focused, and unapologetically visible. Her secret? 5 daily habits that help her stay strong, sharp, and in charge every single day. Let's start with the one habit Jane never skips: movement. Habit number 1: movement with meaning. Jane Fonda starts each morning with one core intention: movement. But she's not moving to impress anyone or chase a youthful image. She moves for freedom, independence, and vitality. At 87, she says she feels younger now than she did at 20. And the reason? She never stopped moving with purpose. In the 1980s, Jane didn't just ride the fitness trend, she created one. Her workout tapes sold over 17 million copies and brought exercise into homes across the world. She redefined what it meant to be strong, especially for women, and she's not done. Today, she's leading virtual workouts using Meta's Supernatural app, stepping into digital fitness landscapes with that same iconic leotard and a whole lot of spirit. But her fitness routine has matured alongside her body. She walks instead of runs. She focuses on flexibility, mobility, and core strength. Her weight training is lighter now, 8-pound dumbbells, but no less effective. If your back isn't strong, she says, you can't carry yourself well. That posture, that alignment, it matters at every age. She doesn't train for vanity. She trains for life. Climbing stairs, lifting grandkids, sitting and standing with ease. These are her goals. Jane knows the real power of movement isn't how it looks, but how it feels. And she makes it fun. She dances, she boxes, she stretches, she flows. Her sessions with Ludacris in VR boxing prove that staying active doesn't have to be boring. It can be joyful, even wild. Her mantra: if it's not enjoyable, it's not sustainable. Science backs her up. Consistent, moderate movement helps prevent falls, preserves brain function, boosts mood, and improves longevity. But Jane proves something deeper. When movement is infused with meaning, it becomes a celebration of life itself. She's not moving to stay young. She's moving to stay free. Habit number 2: nutritional discipline. Jane Fonda doesn't believe in diets. She believes in nourishment. At 87, her approach to food is centered around one thing: fueling a long, vibrant life. For her, eating isn't about appearance. It's about energy, strength, and peace of mind. Her diet is mostly plant-based, rich and whole, unprocessed foods. She fills her plate with leafy greens, colorful vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats like avocado and olive oil. Red meat is rare, and even fish has been reduced, not just for health, but because of her growing concerns about sustainability and the planet. Jane starts her day with water. Hydration, she says, is the first act of self-care, and she never skips breakfast. Whether it's oatmeal, fruit, or whole grain toast with nut butter, a balanced breakfast sets the tone for the day. It's a moment of mindfulness, a reset before everything else begins. Moderation is her golden rule. She doesn't believe in extremes. If she's in Italy, she'll enjoy a plate of pasta. If there's dessert on the table, she might have a bite. But it's always balanced with movement, maybe a walk at dawn, or a quiet yoga session at home. Jane's current philosophy comes from experience. She's spoken openly about her past struggles with disordered eating and body image. There were times when food was the enemy. Now it's an ally. She listens to her body, trusts her signals, and refuses to punish herself. You don't have to be perfect, she says. You just have to be kind to yourself. Science supports her wisdom. Diets high in whole foods and low in processed sugars are linked to better cognitive health, heart health, and longer life. Jane eats to thrive. Every bite is an act of respect for her body, her mind, and the life she's still living to the fullest. Jane's not just strong, she's razor sharp. And that's no accident. If you've ever worried about losing focus or falling behind with age, her next habit flips that fear on its head. Habit number 3, mental fitness and curiosity. Jane Fonda doesn't just exercise her body, she trains her mind with the same level of discipline and passion. At 87, she's as intellectually curious as ever, and she credits her mental sharpness to a daily commitment to learning, thinking, and staying open. Reading is part of her daily ritual. News articles, essays, history, science, politics, anything that challenges her. She believes staying informed is not just a habit, but a responsibility. Her book, What Can I Do?, was inspired by Greta Thunberg and the student climate movement. It blends personal stories with urgent calls to action. For Jane, engaging with ideas, especially difficult ones, is a way to stay rooted in the present and connected to the future. She surrounds herself with people who challenge her views. Conversations in Jane's world aren't about agreement, they're about discovery. She believes debate keeps the mind alive, and she's constantly reevaluating her beliefs with humility and grace. Never stop asking why, she says. That mantra keeps her young. Reflection is another part of her mental training. During her cancer treatment, she embarked on what she called a life review. She journaled, re-examined her choices, and asked herself hard questions. What still matters? What can I let go of? That process gave her clarity and a deep sense of peace about the path ahead. Jane believes aging isn't about decline, it's about evolution, and neuroscience backs her up. Studies show that curiosity, problem-solving, and active learning delay cognitive decline and protect mental function well into old age. So if your mind feels foggy or uninspired, follow Jane's lead. Read something that stretches you. Question your routines. Engage in dialogue, because the more curious you stay, the more alive and limitless you become. Habit number 4, emotional reflection and journaling. If Jane Fonda has one superpower besides resilience, it's emotional awareness. She doesn't just stay fit physically and mentally. She stays emotionally grounded, and that's no accident. Her 4th daily habit is emotional reflection, often practiced through journaling, silence, and deep self-inquiry. At 60, she began what she called a life review, a personal inventory of everything she'd lived through, learned from, and still needed to understand. With pen and paper, she dove into old wounds, relationships, decisions, and dreams. Through journaling, she discovered patterns, reclaimed her narrative, and learned to forgive herself. For Jane, this habit isn't about reliving the past, it's about making peace with it. Her journals help her process emotions, shed unnecessary guilt, and navigate uncertainty. We're not meant to carry pain forever, she says. Writing allows her to lay those burdens down. She's also a believer in stillness. At 70, she pushed herself out of her comfort zone by attending an 8-day silent meditation retreat at a Zen monastery. No speaking, no eye contact, just hours of silence, breath, and presence. She described it as both intense and transformative. That experience taught her to listen, not to others, but to herself. Jane also leans on her support system. Trusted friends, therapists, and family provide safe spaces for honest conversations. She believes vulnerability is strength and that bottling up emotions is like drinking poison slowly. So she opens up, listens deeply, and encourages others to do the same. Science supports her methods. Emotional expression, especially through journaling, reduces stress, boosts immunity, improves sleep, and sharpens focus. But more than that, it gives your story context and your struggles meaning. Jane knows true strength comes from inner clarity, and that's why she reflects, writes, and connects with herself every single day. 4 habits down, and Jane's not slowing down. If one of these habits clicked with you, drop it in the comments. I want to know. And if you're ready for the most heart-centered habit of all, keep watching. It's the one Jane says gives her life real meaning. Habit number 5, purposeful connection. At 87, Jane Fonda doesn't isolate, she engages. Her 5th and most heart-centered habit is purposeful connection. For Jane, relationships and community aren't side notes. They're the soul of a meaningful life. And staying connected is what fuels her energy, relevance, and emotional vitality. She's been an activist for over 60 years, from marching for civil rights in the 1960s to being arrested at climate protests in her 80s. Jane doesn't just talk about causes, she shows up. She launched Fire Drill Fridays, an ongoing campaign for climate action, and her work with GSCAP, Georgia Campaign for Adolescent Power and Potential, has empowered thousands of young people with education and resources. Her activism is a form of connection across generations, communities, and belief systems. But it's not just about the big stages. Jane values the small moments just as much. She calls friends, writes letters, shares meals, and makes time for genuine conversations. These aren't obligations. They're what she calls emotional oxygen. Connection also extends to her family. She's intentional about her role as a mother and grandmother, striving to build trust, leave a legacy of action, and model empathy. "I want my grandkids to know that Grandma tried," she says. That authenticity is her greatest gift, and she's clear-eyed about the cost of loneliness. Jane speaks openly about its dangers, both emotionally and physically. Studies confirm what she lives. Social isolation increases the risk of disease, depression, and early death. That's why she works at Connection every day, just like she works out or eats well. To Jane, thriving means living for more than yourself. It means building bridges, not walls. Whether it's joining a cause, texting a friend, or simply making eye contact with someone who feels invisible, connection is the habit that makes all the others matter. Jane's not chasing youth, she's choosing purpose. Movement, nourishment, curiosity, reflection, connection, every day, without fail. If that's the kind of aging you believe in too, hit subscribe. This is The Graced, and we'll see you next time.